All right. So, 2026. What does that mean for the average person in the real estate market? Well, last year, since 2018, I would call it the year of the first time home buyers. 2018, so almost 8 years, a near decade since the last time that first time home buyers kind of trumped the rest. I believe there was more first-time homebuyers than any other market, which totally understandable. I think the two biggest people that had any opportunity in the 2025 market was downsizers and first-time homebuyers. So downsizers have been in the market for a long time, built a bunch of equity, not necessarily too important to need to capitalize on the most valuable spot in the market because they're going to still walk away with a lot of money, but more so people that just had no choice in having to sell and they just had to do it in the time frame that they were given. Those are the people that typically made some actions this year. Some of them paid off, some of them not necessarily that great, but for the most part, I think you know it was a pretty stagnant time to move in the market. I think if you sold, if you bought, you're not making any money. You're not losing any money unless you paid an arm and a leg during COVID time. And those are usually the people that are still on the fence. So with that being said, I'm hoping that first-time home buyers and downsizers will kind of push the narrative a little bit more, that there's some confidence in buyers and that there is an assumption or hope more on the first-time home buyer side that the market has stabilized or at least will be in a position to not decrease but hopefully increase slowly and incrementally back to the way it used to be. Your 1 to 3% a year or whatever, which would be fantastic. Even 3%, like even 1% or whatever a year is more than enough, right? Like it's a good increase. It gives you a little bit of your money back, but it just would give a little bit more confidence considering what happened since 2022. We've just been constantly in a downward trend, struggling to find the bottom. Sellers are still trying to get as much money as they can from their buyers, and they don't want to leave anything on the table, so they don't want to list at a lower price. They want to see what happens, right? And buyers will not make a move unless it's perceived to be some type of a deal or a good move, which is totally understandable. You don't want to get the wrong end of the stick in an uncertain time. So yeah, 2025, the year of uncertainty, the year of first-time home buyers. I think those who were really doing their homework, I think, made some good decisions. I think we made some really cool stuff happen last year. Just being able to get to those people that were selling and maybe in the market for a little bit longer, halfway through the 150 half year type of time, and they were on the way down to a certain price point, but they just hadn't gotten there yet. So we were enticing them just a little bit, and we saw the price point earlier than the sellers did, and just worked really hard at helping them see kind of where they were at, and got some pretty cool stuff for our clients this year, or last year. So that was pretty cool. Really enjoyed that. But I think this year will be different. I think 2026, a lot of people will say, is going to be a big rebound year for the market. And I don't necessarily disagree with that. What I would like to say is that the reason why it's going to be a rebound year is because prices should stabilize. I don't necessarily think that they're going to go up. They might go up a little bit. I'm hoping that they just stabilize, and I would like to see not stagnancy, but consistency in our market. I want to see consistent buying, and I want to see consistent selling listings. Coming onto the market. And if those two things can start to match up by the end of the year or whatever, and at least we can get into a consistent market, inventory might be a little bit still high or whatever, but at least we can get ourselves closer to that balanced market, which would be just great for everybody. And then it would give a little bit more opportunity for some of those people that maybe bought during COVID to move around. And then we can get a lot of those other first-time homes that were bought years and years ago back onto the market and hopefully get some other people into them. Yeah, that's kind of the only real thing that I wanted to touch on this one. I know we fell off of the videos last year. I still have no one viewing me anyways. I got a few subscribers. Thanks to those people who support. But yeah, we're going to hold ourselves a little bit more accountable this year. I would like to stay consistent to, hopefully a video a week, but one every 2 weeks at least. And just kind of keeping a little bit more touch on what's going on. I'll watch a little bit of videos and stuff like that, but I think for the most part, I would like to just have an open, honest discussion and just kind of share my thoughts and experiences and expectations for what I see happening in the market. I think last year we did pretty good on our expectations. We did pretty good on our predictions. I think if we go back and look at what we were saying, it matched up pretty good to what ended up happening throughout the year. So, yeah, that's kind of just where I wanted to leave things off today. Thanks again for those who are watching the videos, and hopefully we can bring you some good information this year. If you have any questions or curiosities, feel free to leave a comment below. Follow, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'll try my best to engage with everyone, and let's make 2026 a great year for anybody who's looking to get into the market or change their position on the market. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.